delighted here because I'm having a conversation with Chidi Okwuduri, who leads our technology practice. And we've been working for a while now on a tool that we call the Prolecto Task Manager Planner, or PTM Planner. We've worked very hard in our business to be able to use NetSuite to its fullest to run our practice. Everything that we do is built on NetSuite. We fundamentally have all of our clients, all of our action is sourced out of NetSuite, and all of our team and analysts work out of this. The fundamental nature of everything that we do is our Prolecto Task Manager, but the Task Manager is in essence think of it as a case system, and all requests we organize around that for any of the action that we're trying to take care of for our clients. However, we need an ability to stand back and plan. The idea with the planning is that we need to be able to create more predictable results for our clients, be able to understand our capacity for things that we're working on and how we're going to sequence things. And so PTM Planner is effectively a tool that helps us to get at that data and work with our analysts to determine where work is and so forth. So Chidi's going to walk us through this. We're going to talk about it more at the usability side and the business side of it, but we're going to spend a little time on it on the technology side of it, which really showcases our ability to bring these kind of applications to our clients. Chidi, can you give us an overview of what we're looking at? Help us understand this app and special perspective, because you have approximately 10 analysts that work for you, and so how you use it as well.
Thank you, Marty. Well, the first thing to mention is we're really running on NetSuite. You can tell from the URL here that we are on NetSuite. This is a suitelet that's hosting the app. It is running based using our Extensible Client Framework, we call ECF technology, which allows us to create modern apps on NetSuite with using off-the-shelf components. In this case, the app we're looking at is really a React-based app. React is currently, if not one of the most popular front-end technologies. And so it's great to be able to use it here. PTM Planner allows me as a consultant. So I'm looking from two places. One, as an individual contributor, because I work with clients as well, and then looking as a manager. So I'll start first as a consultant. So when consultants log in, they can see the work that they have scheduled currently for the active week, and into the future. So what we did is the first column here, we kind of use this week as a placeholder. So this shows us all things that we have, or that I have as a consultant, that is not yet scheduled in time. And there could be different reasons for that. It could be that, I'm waiting on input for the client. Therefore, I really don't know when next I'm going to pick it up. So the first thing is to look at this area, and ideally this area should drive our planning and say, well, I have stuff that is here and I need to get it into this side because this is the future. We use color coding here to help people also see what's more important. So for example, the green colors is higher priority, the blue ones are medium high, and one like this that is red is saying, oh, you actually have a target date on this PTM, but it has passed. So by just seeing this red, I already know something is wrong here. I almost dropped the ball, or I dropped the ball, or my data is not up to date. Either way, is calling me to take action. And so in this case, what actually happened is I didn't update the target date. It's something that should be on this week. So I could come in here and change the dates or parameters, or I can more easily just drag it into the current week. So we support drag and drop. And so now it's moved in here. The color has changed. It's high priority. So that's why it's green. And so this gives our consultants an easy way to basically plan their week, just drag things around, move them, adjust them, instead of having to go open each record, save it. It's a much better experience and it's much more visual. One more thing that it says is, what's my utilization? So everybody has a number of hours they want to work. And so this number helps me see, in my case, based on what I have planned, I'm 60% utilized. And then that means, okay, there's some capacity here to do more work. As the utilization goes higher, we change the color as well to help you to see that, you might be overutilized. And so you're making more commitments than you probably can hold. And that's not good, because most likely that will lead to a breakdown, which is what we're trying to avoid, because we want to care for the clients.
Yep.
Now, that's me as an individual contributor. As a team leader, or I want to be able to see this a view of my team, and so I can choose my area, technology area. And what will happen now is the application will reload and show me all the people in my area. And so what this lets me do very quickly, again, looking at just the colors, I can see, okay, who is where, like where do we have capacity or where do we have potential overutilization? You can see one of my team members here now seems to have into the next 4 weeks, already a lot stacked up. So that informs me with new requests. That, okay, if I have new requests, do I need to go to him? Does the client need it sooner? It kind of helps me plan. Ideally, we want to be able to look 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks into the future because that helps us be more predictable. And so it's nice to see that he has walked into the future, but it's not nice that it looks like he's overworked because I don't want him to break down. I don't want to drop client concern. So this helps me very quickly see where do I need to have a conversation and what's the status of my team. Beyond that, we work in practice areas. So it also allows my colleagues. So let's say Hector, who is leading operation practice, is on a call with a client and there's a request for the particular technology that requires technology. Hector can quickly look at my team and then get an initial assessment as to how soon he thinks we can get to something. In the past, he would have to, ask me, and then I have to figure it out somehow and give him the answers. Now he can reasonably get those answers himself without right away without delaying the client. So those are two ways that this just helps me as a manager be on top of things. And of course, as I meet with my team members, we go over this and make sure that they're keeping it up to date and all of that.
Right. We have a very strong weekly orientation in our practice. You meet with each staff member each week. They update all of their PTMs, and you look at it from this view to see whether it's coherent over time and everything's making sense. And this helps our clients understand better the predictability of when we'll deliver, as well as our team is more logically figuring out how they're going to get their work done. So this is helping us hold our promises and remove the drama that can be very associated with needing to get things done and doing all this follow-up, which is what we don't want to be having our clients do, is to feel the need to follow up that we're really listening.
Exactly.
Okay. When you're in this view, though, or when you're looking at other matters, do we have to jump to the other tool? Can you show a little bit of how you can get to, when you're in a planning view, sometimes you have to get into the details. So what do you do when you're in that case?
All right, let me just switch back to myself and because I actually do have a PTM here for which I did mention this in there, this notion of firm PTM. So if I toggle this box now, you're gonna see something else happen. Notice that this PTM has an anchor here, and this helps me know that our general planning philosophy is we want to get to things as soon as possible and do the most important things first. And so it's not always the case that a deadline is firm, but once in a while you have a PTM for which the client has indicated that this has to be done by a particular date for whatever reason. The one we're looking at here is one for which I'm doing something in the release preview, and I know the release preview is going away by next week. So I need to get this work done. And so what we do then is right from here, I can get into the PTM system. So I just click through, and now what's happening is loading PTM directly. So this is PTM in PTM Planner, and every change I make here is going to hit the database directly. And so that's the key thing is the users don't have to toggle between PTM and PTM Planner. Right in here, they can make changes. Of course, if it's basic stuff like just the start date and target dates, they could do it on that pop-up before. But let's say they wanted to add a message or do some more involved action. We decided to, instead of trying to replicate that in PTM Planner, since we already did a lot of work in PTM, we just wanted to load PTM so they can do the work. So I'll just go ahead now and update this one because I'm actively working on it. I move it to in progress, and I'll say, I'm doing Chidi is completing testing in a release preview, and then the next step will be Chidi to deploy to production.
Okay, and the firm date was that little checkbox over there on the right around the date elements?
Right. This is what says this target is firm. So, then it gets extra attention, and we sometimes just want to focus on those ones and make sure you walk that list first before you get into the more fluid, you can say more fluid ones.
Okay, and so a reminder of what we're looking at is first, we built Prolecto Task Manager to be on top of NetSuite cases to have a completely different user experience to drive our entire client service operations. The next thing we did is said, once we had that perfected, we then built a separate tool that we call PTM Planner to allow us to stand back and do the planning. But we wanted to leverage all the work that we previously did with the PTM tool. This is why this pops up in this view, allowing us to have the flexibility to get at it from multiple things. Because once we're in this other tool in a different mindset, sometimes we have to get in there and do detail work.
Right, exactly.
Awesome. Okay. So this makes a lot of sense, and it's exciting to see that it's coming together, and that this has completely helped us with our client service commitment goals. Okay, great.
Definitely.
We hope you found these insights helpful. If you're ready to get more out of your NetSuite investment and unlock untapped potential in your business, start your journey with Prolecto. Contact us today.